All right, hello everybody. Welcome to our next lesson here. Today we're going to focus on Europe and the 30 Years' War. So our objectives and standards for today: to understand the causes of the 30 Years' War and to analyze the results of the 30 Years' War. And take a moment there to look over your standards, please. And our desired result, remember to include this in your weekly summary under the desired result section. How did the 30 Years' War impact the world? So again, how did the 30 Years' War impact the world? So religious turmoil. We have learned already in this class, maybe you know from elsewhere as well, that many German states are going to face religious turmoil during the Reformation. Remember, the Reformation took place as a chance to kind of change the Catholic Church with Martin Luther and everything like that. It does bring about some changes, but it also creates kind of a new branch of Christianity known as the Protestants. So we see that both Protestants and Catholics are going to persecute each other, as we've talked about already, and that's going to continue going on here in Europe as well. We're going to see religious war raged across Europe by the early 1600s. Now, in terms of the German states, now remember, Germany is not a complete country at this time like it is today. It's a bunch of smaller, kind of divided little areas, okay? And the Holy Roman Emperor, in theory, had control over these areas, okay? But in actuality, the German princes had actual control of their own states. Remember, we talked about this before, where each German prince could kind of decide if he wanted that area to be Protestant or Catholic. And, that's going to create a lot of conflict between Protestants and Catholics in the area and in the region as well. This is also going to lead to a power struggle as well. So German states were typically divided by religion. The northern areas of the German states were mostly Protestant, and the southern areas were mostly Catholic. So problems expand. In terms of conflict, the 30 Years' War was a series of wars from 1618 to 1648. So that's a long period of kind of fighting and conflict that happens across Europe. Now, the trouble started in Bohemia. Now, Bohemia is what we call today the present-day Czech Republic. So, Catholic Habsburg King of Bohemia, Ferdinand II, this gentleman right here, he looked to limit Protestants and assert royal power over nobles. So remember that during the age of absolutism, we have kings and queens who think they have absolute power and absolute control, excuse me, to kind of make decisions and do what they want. So in May of 1618, we have the deinfestration, trying my best with that word there, of Prague. So what happens here is this: a few rebellious Protestants tossed two royal officials out of a castle window. Yep, you heard me correctly, that picture there. So a few of these rebellious Protestants tossed two royal officials out of a castle window, and it sparks a general revolt. Now, Ferdinand II, he's going to move to stop this revolt, obviously, and both sides are going to seek allies, which will eventually spread to the rest of Europe. So war comes to Europe. King Ferdinand II was actually elected Holy Roman Emperor, so in charge of those German states, in 1619. Now, he tries to roll back the Reformation, so he tries to kind of push back the Reformation and the attempts by Protestants, right? And he did have the support of Spain, Poland, and other Catholic states. Now, unfortunately, for the Bohemians and those Protestant states, those Protestant German areas, they were defeated in the beginning by Catholic forces. So other Protestant powers around Europe, they begin to see this. They go, whoa, something's going on there, something crazy and something not right's going on over there in those German areas, and we have to kind of stop the Catholics from, pushing back the Reformation and trying to take control of this completely. So they became alarmed, and they're going to send troops to Germany from Sweden and the Netherlands to support the Protestants. Now, other sides or other groups will join the struggle, and many are going to even switch sides to support their own political goals. So even though they might have been a religious place or a religious country that was Catholic or Protestant, if they wanted territory or they wanted something else, some other gain, they might switch to support, excuse me, support an enemy to take something away from somebody else. For example, Catholic France, France was Catholic, decided to join Protestant Sweden against the Catholic Habsburgs, to try and gain something. So again, it wasn't always just about religion. There were some political goals in there as well. Now, the fighting during the 30 Years' War was absolutely brutal, destroyed the European countryside and villages. There were many Europeans who were tortured and killed, and even following the fighting or during the fighting, we see famine, which is again a lack of food and things like that, and disease will become widespread. And overall, the 30 Years' War is going to really kind of depopulate Europe. It's going to lead to a decrease in the population in Europe. So, restored peace. In 1648, Europe is exhausted from the 30 years of fighting on and off, things like that. So they're going to accept a series of treaties. And these become known as the Peace of Westphalia, okay? I'll try to, sorry, kind of crossed it out there. But the Peace of Westphalia. So many powers had become involved in the fighting that they just called for a general peace. They don't really kind of pick sides or say, you get this, you get that, you get this. They just kind of call for a general peace. Hey, let's stop fighting and let's just kind of, try to restore what we have here. But there were some places that did have advantages while others had losses. For one, France is really kind of a big winner of the 30 Years' War. France did gain a lot of territories, especially from Spain and along the German frontiers. The Habsburgs, they have to accept the almost total independence of all princes in the Holy Roman Empire. They have to accept that and allow those princes to rule how they want to rule. The Netherlands and Sweden will actually gain their independence as well. However, the German states will remain divided, and we won't see them really become a united country until the 1800s, so about 200 years from 1648. We won't really see Germany become a whole unified country until that point. All right, so our closure. How did the 30 Years' War impact the world? Think about some of the devastation and destruction that happened. Think about kind of what happened as an outcome as a result of the 30 Years' War. What changes do we see? And that will help you answer your closure question in the weekly summary chart. Please let me know of any questions or concerns. Try your best on the questions that follow, and I hope you have a great rest of your day or night. Talk to you soon.